Hi everyone, Raquel here from scrapcosy. Today I'm sharing with you how to use foil in 6 different ways to create 4 different grungy vintage Christmas tags. These are my contributions for the current PaperArtsy challenge, which is about foil. Make sure you visit the PaperArtsy blog for a chance to win. Okay, let's get started. I've created my tags using the Smoothie Heavy Cardstock paper by PaperArtsy. And for the first tag, I'm going to use infusions, so golden sands and olive tree. Lots of water and lots of infusions. And this is just to create the background. So you'll see me create 2 tags in a similar way. This one will be the slow version of how to create this grungy finish. And then it will come the faster version, basically. So here I'm applying infusions, water, more infusions, more water. Heat setting, and now I'm moving with the brush the little powders from the walnut. Now I'm painting. You can see that the dye has already started to sink into the paper, and with the water, every contact of a drop, if the surface is still wet, kind of reacts like bleach, like if it was watercolor, so you can create very cool backgrounds. Once it's completely dry, it will be permanent, basically. It will not react anymore. Now I'm picking some of the drops that I have in my mat to kind of add even more interest and more grunge look. And I've been even creating now a bit more of that dark water by mixing infusions and water. And with that brush, I'm just applying some splashes. And so far I like it very much. What do you think? Very grungy, I know. But well, this is what I like. So this is the first version, and you can see what we achieved with all this time. And I'm going to repeat the same on a different tag, but now I will change a little bit the process. So I'm starting again with the same color combination, applying some water, and now I go directly with the brush. As you can see here at this step, it's pretty light the color, but then I have a background. Now I apply infusions. I also dissolve a little bit some of the dots here and there, not evenly, and then I start applying the drops of water for that watercolor-like effect. Remember, if it's wet, it will still react, but if dry, it will stay as it is. So similarly as before, I'm picking some of the drops from my mat, and I'll create my own dark color water, mixing the 2 colors and splashing with my brush. So this one was quicker, and you get kind of a similar result. I think the other one has more richness and more kind of texture, but this one is also very cool and super fast to do. I'll just show you both so you can compare. Can you see the difference? Not much, but still a little bit. So now I'll work in one of those 2 tags first. I'm using archival ink, Acorn, to stamp the sentiment first. And I'm using this ESC09 Vintage Frames stamp set, and I'm just stamping that in the middle, and then I'll stamp the Merry Christmas. This will not be my final sentiment, because I decide at the end that it's too dark, and then to coordinate with the rest, I'm going to just, well, make it match, you will see at the end. And I'm going to apply grunge paste through the stencil on some areas, and then here I decide that I want to show you a technique that I like very much. So instead of applying just grunge paste, which is to what my foil will stick to, I'm going to, well, do a more grungy vintage finish, whatever. So I'm going to select that archival ink, the Acorn, and I'm going to apply the ink through the stencil everywhere. Okay, so this will be a diamond tag. This is pretty similar to one of the videos that I did in the past. I'll add the link to that video in the screen so you can basically have a look at all other Christmas tags that you can create as well. pretty grungy too, with different colors and also different techniques. And now, well, I'm trying to fix that there a little bit. But anyway, it will not be the final sentiment, as I was saying. So now that I have all that ink, I'm going to apply grunge paste roughly on the same position everywhere. But I will leave some gaps without grunge paste, so I will see the ink through. That would give me a feeling of broken, but I can still see the pattern. And I like that very much. Can you see that? And then just to make sure that the top and the bottom are the same, I will complete the pattern fully on the bottom part. So it's only destroyed, let's say, in the middle of the tag. And I'm going to heat set that, and once it's fully dry, then I'm going to apply the foil. And the property that I will be using here is that the foil, when it finds a rough surface, it's like a rub-on. It gets stick to it if you press it hard. So that's what I'm doing. I'm basically using the foil and that piece of wooden stick to basically make sure that the foil sticks there. And at this point, I mean, I was seeing that the diamonds are too white for me. So you will see me that I will add some more infusions at the end. And I'll repeat the same technique. But this is very fun. You just go there and then press, and then, well, you can start seeing how that gold gets transferred into the grunge paste. This technique of rubbing on the foil into something that has a rough surface will also work, for instance, in wood. So it really stays there. Of course, if you basically apply water, like I will do, then some of the foil may go away because it's not permanent. But as far as, well, you don't touch it a lot, it will stick. And as you can see, it's transferring because there are some leftovers in my foil with the diamond shape, so basically it has transferred. Now I'm going to protect the sentiment because at this point I was still like, I'm gonna save that sentiment yet. So I was just covering it with glaze because I'm going to apply more infusions on top, and I want that to stay kind of that light color, light between commas, because it's not light at all. Okay, that's why at the end I decided to kind of get rid of that part. So once it's dry, then I'm going to apply infusions on top, and that will make my diamonds to look more dirty and more grungy and darker. And then that glaze will avoid the sentiment to actually be so much covered. And then I'm going to dry again very well, because if I rub on with all the strength that I was using on a wet grunge paste, I'm going to destroy the grunge paste. So it really needs to be very dry. And once I finish with all the drying, then I'm going to repeat again the same process of putting the foil on top and start, well, pressing down or rubbing with my stick. And this is kind of addictive. I mean, you start like, oh, I'm gonna add a little bit more here. Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit more there. So this is the result. So as you can see, the sentiment is different. I'll show you how to do that later. But you can see all that shine and sparkle here. That you can see all the dots like rub on to the grunge paste. And some of them went out because I added some water in between the first step and the second step. And now we are going to use another technique. For this one, I'll use the technique that, well, basically the foil will stick to a sticky surface. And by sticky surface, well, I'm using that double-side tape adhesive, so it will stick there. So here you will see basically what the foil is about, if you've never seen it and worked with it. because it would be very obvious where it stays and where it goes. So I'm just a-bulleting there and doing my stripes more or less separated. I mean, I'm not measuring anything. It's just, well, by more or less instinct, let's say. And it doesn't have to be perfect anyway. These are grungy tags, remember. So now I'll just make sure that they stick very well to my surface. So again, with that stick, it's just to press down the glue very well, so it really stays. And I'm going to remove all that paper. It takes some time, but it will be okay. And the good part is that, probably by chance, well, as you can see, some of the glue is behind. So at this point, well, it will be okay, because it will help my tag to actually stay on the table. Now I put a piece of foil there, and as you can see already the lines there. So I'm passing this stick through to make sure that they stay where they should, and that also gives it like a little touch, because it adds some marks, and that will contribute to that vintage look. And as you can see, when I'm lifting, all the foil is completely transferred. And there you go. That was super quick and super easy, isn't it? I like that one very much. And also the thing is that with the leftover piece of foil, you could also create another card. Look at that. It's just beautiful, isn't it? I'll show you some pictures. It's very tricky to take a picture of the foil. It really shines so much that taking pictures is like, oh, a nightmare. So it changes color here and there, but well, there you go. Okay, now we're going to do a third technique. The surface of this tag is a bit different. This is Yupo paper sticked onto the heavy cardstock smoothie. It doesn't need to be heavy cardstock smoothie, just heavy cardstock will do. And I'm applying the alcohol inks, like here and there, a bit randomly. And then with some blending solution, I'm just applying it there, and with that pen, and then I've removed everything, so I can basically blow through it. But if you have a straw, that will work fine as well. So I'm just applying more alcohol and more solution. And then with the brush also I'm helping to cover all the surface. And here I want a lot of ink, because it's going to be sticky. So again, the foil will stick to it. So we'll stick to sticky things, obviously. And this is how, I mean, the alcohol inks, until they are fully dry, they are kind of sticky for a long while. And you need to practice a little bit this technique, because it's not super straightforward and may not result all the time in the same way. And it depends also on how much dry or how much wet the ink is. It's just a matter of practice. So I keep on playing around with the different inks and with the brush and blowing more ink. So it kind of creates those puddles, and that condensation of ink is where I want my foil to stick. Excuse my head, it's impossible to get it out of the way in this shot. And now I'm trying, yeah, with the foil, and it's starting to stick. Can you see that? So I kind of like it, but I want more. So I decide to play a little bit more with the ink, create some dots here and there. Here it was a very nice idea, yeah, but not enough ink and not enough sticky, so nothing was achieved. So then I decided to, okay, let's add a few more drops here and there to create more rounds of foil. And you need to, again, make sure that it's dry a little bit, not a lot, so it gets sticky enough. Or dry in the right way, basically. And then you can also add some lines that I'll be doing there, just with my finger or with, again, with my nail, to add more shine and a bit more grungy effect there. And with a wooden stick as well. And more or less, that's it. This is a very shiny one, and I think it's one of my favorites and more striking, really. So colorful. I love the result. So just to let you know, there is some alcohol ink there, so I decided to kind of reuse it a little bit. So I clean my brush with some alcohol. That's rubbing alcohol. And then this is a piece of Yupo paper. So I'm picking different parts of that alcohol mix and then putting it here and there. And it gets so nice, that background. I like it very, very much. So as you can see, the Yupo paper is kind of, well, non-porous surface, so it really doesn't grab everything. It looks beautiful. And then for the rest, I decided to go with a normal tag, and here you basically pick everything. So now I'm cleaning the table with a piece of a smoothie. And it's also very nice, similar color, but different result. Can you see? Okay, now I'll show you how the tag look like. I think it's stunning. I like it very, very much. And I love those stripes that I've done. What do you think about this one? Do you like it? And now let's go to the final tag. And for this one, I'm going to use the power of the Laminator, which adds, well, some heat. And also the fact that infusions have the walnut crystals. Again, the same colors, golden sands and olive tree. And I will be using the fact that the walnut is not dissolved, so it's a bit more bumpy. And at the same time, it becomes very hot when it goes through the laminator, so it makes the foil to stay. So I'm just putting that into a piece of copy paper. I'm doing that sandwich, the tag, the foil, and the copy paper, and then I'm passing it through twice. And when you lift it, all those, well, brown spots become gold. So I'm applying a bit more because I see too white. So now I'm making sure that I basically cover everything. And here again, when you apply water, the foil kind of floats. So it's not fixed into the paper. So I will add a bit more. Once I like kind of the design of the background, then I'm going to apply a final layer of infusions in the same way that I did the first one. Can you see the foil moving? All those dots. And once it's dry, basically, then I'm going to apply that final layer of infusions. Just to add the walnut. Make sure that it's there, crisp and not dissolved. And then it will go again through the laminator twice. And it's so exciting to reveal the results, really. So for this one, if you lift it, you see that it's full of gold dots. And here you go. This is the result. Again, it's very tricky to actually get a picture of the foil because it either reflects a lot and it's super shiny, or it's completely, well, you don't see it basically and it's covered, but I really like it. So now I'm going to show you how I created the different sentiments for the tags. And I used two techniques basically. So I'm going to use Mod Podge and I'm going to stamp with glue. Again, we will use the same technique where basically the foil sticks to something sticky. So I'm just using a cut and dry foam. I'm loading it with the help of a brush with basically that Mod Podge, and then I'm applying it to the surface of the stamp, and then I'm stamping. And I'm doing the same with the sentiment. Okay, I'm acting pretty quick here. And then I'm putting the foil. Here I put a foil that was too big for the piece of paper that I had, so then I had to shift it to a different paper, and between all these shifts basically there were some wrinkles that then basically, well, you'll see that the result is not perfect. You need to clean very well the stamps, okay? You were using glue and you don't want the glue to basically cover any of those details in your stamps, but a little bit of water and it will go. And there you have the result. Can you see the stretch marks on the foil and then therefore on the stamp paper? But don't worry, it will be better in the next one. Just gets better with practice. And I do the same. I apply the glue on both parts. And then in this one I'm being more careful, I think. And then again copy paper and go through the laminator and clean the stamps very well. Don't leave it for later. Do it as soon as you finish. And there you go. Oh, I love it very much. It's really shiny. And if you compare, well, one is better than the other. And now I'm using Minc toner ink brush. Well, it's a pen actually. So I'm going to use that to stamp. So the toner ink, it's kind of made with some iron particles, okay? So those, when they go through the laminator, become very, very hot, okay? So the foil basically sticks to it. It's like the normal use of the foil, or some of the uses, is that you have a laminator, you have something printed in your toner printer, and then basically that will foil perfectly, right? But then, well, another use is if you don't have a toner printing machine, basically, then you can use this toner pen, and this is a substitute with which you can basically stamp what you have instead of print it, and it will work. And you will not see the difference, really. Again, clean your stamps very well if you're using glue. And the toner, I think it can be used normally. I mean, clean with water and that's it. So that's the result. Also pretty cool, isn't it? So I did a fourth one using the same technique, which you already know, but that's it basically. Look at that, that's also cool. You could also use that into something else. I just fussy cut all of these, and I'm just going to apply some golden sands with water to make them a bit more vintage. Just dissolve it with water in your craft sheet, then basically apply it with a brush. And that's it. Quick way to color stuff. So I stick some foam tape adhesive on the back, and I'm just sticking every centimeter in place. And this is the last step. So I really hope you like it. I'm going to put some pictures so you can see the details of each one. So this is the one with the diamonds, and all the sentiments are done in the same way except of the last one, that I will remind you that it was done with the toner, just a sentiment, and you will see there is not much difference. And I really enjoyed creating all these. It was really fun. And now I have some Christmas tags that I can basically gift if I want to. And this is the one with the toner. As you can see, just the letters were with the toner and the rest were with the glue. The result is very similar. Very striking, right? So that was all for today. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. I will add again the video about the other Christmas tags so you can have a look at them and see more techniques on other subjects, not foil of course. But you will see many with infusions and grunge paste, etc., which are my favorite go-to tools. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!